Start your engine!
Entering its 7th season, the Lapped Traffic Podcast has brought you over 300 shows, driver and media interviews, awesome stories and entertainment, and one of the coolest fantasy leagues around. Get ready for another exciting season. Sit back, relax, and try not to get lapped.
Now, here's your host, the Professor,
What is up, Lap Traffic Nation? Welcome to episode 307 of the Lap Traffic Podcast. Yes, I'm your host, the Professor, Brandon Crowd. And I mean, you couldn't ask for a more perfect intro in general, but to have a wrestling style intro going into WrestleMania weekend, it's awesome. This weekend's going to be fun. I'll get to that here in just a second. I mean, what a jam-packed weekend of racing we had this past weekend as well. March Madness. So much to dive into here. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. It was busy. Like I said, Friday, we went to dinner with some friends downtown for Lindsay's birthday, which was awesome. Saturday, did some cooking, hung out, watched the trucks, Xfinity at COTA. Sunday, went to breakfast, was outside a little bit, all good things. And I'm, like I said, very excited for this weekend as I'm doing a ride along with my cousin who's a police officer a couple cities over. And I can't wait to report back on that next week because it's going to be entertaining. I have a feeling. So looking forward to that. And like I said, it's WrestleMania weekend, which is going to be awesome. Dustin Albino, who if you've been listening to the show for a while, is a big wrestling fan and doing his thing over at jski.com, has not been on yet this year. Scott Page kicked things off back on episode 300. So I might have to see if Dustin wants to come on next week for a little NASCAR wrestling crossover. He was also at COTA, so would love to get his takes on that as well. So we'll see if we can't get Dustin lined up for next week. Last week, Christian Eckes, hope you enjoyed that. Twitter Spaces worked on Friday, which was awesome, so that's a good thing there. And I'll be honest, Twitter Spaces this week with Brian, maybe either on hold till next week or might have to see if Aaron can jump in because I can only do it on Thursday night this week, and Brian has to work Thursday night. So we'll see. Stay tuned to social media for that. Coming up tonight, though, got a jam-packed show for you. Very excited about tonight's show. Jeremy Clements, who has not been on in a very long time, is going to be on in just a second. Lots to talk about, obviously, from COTA. Got your guys' input as well. Social media, all that good stuff. And not just one, but two editions of Catching Up with Lap Traffic. I've got two listeners, followers that were at COTA this weekend. And hey, why not? Let's get as many views and takes as possible. So I've got two listeners that are going to call in later on in the show with that, as well as Lap Traffic Fantasy to close it out. So without further ado, let's talk to Jeremy Clements. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, joining me on the line, making his second appearance on the show. He is the driver of the family-owned 51, coming off a top 15 this past weekend at COTA. Welcome back to the show, Jeremy Clements. Jeremy, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, guys, doing greings.
Excellent.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being back. Your last time on the show, 2017. Things have changed and some exciting things to catch up with you on, man. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, wow. It's been a while that I've been on this show, so that's pretty cool. Rack about 6 years later, man. Time flies. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And you know, you've been around for a while in the Xfinity series, and 2017. You kind of put that stamp out there and, letting everybody know, hey, we're here and we're going to do some things. And man, it has been fun to watch you and your team and the organization grow, kind of along with the podcast, just because that was the first year of the show. And so anybody that was on the show, I paid extra close attention to. So it's been fun to kind of go side by side in a very, very small way and kind of grow with you, because that's when you guys really turn the heat up on things. And yeah, man, it's been fun to watch.
I appreciate that, man. It's every year we try to grow and get better, and it just takes it honestly just takes more money.
It's crazy how everything does that nowadays.
Yeah, more money, more people, just to be able to get better equipment, to make these cars faster, to do better simulations, and just get better engines, everything. It just takes it all. But this Xfinity series is the strongest competition-wise it's been in years. So this field is super stacked, and yeah, I mean it's hard to get a top 10 right now for us. So yeah, I mean we've had 2 top 15s the past 2 weeks, but that's I'm not going to be satisfied until we're in victory lane again. But man, we've got our work cut out for us racing with these big teams.
For sure, man. So talk a little bit about that for a minute, if you can. Granted, even though there's other organizations have teammates, or manufacturer alliances, what are you able to kind of get from some colleagues and friends out there in the garage with you?
Not a whole lot. I mean, we don't get anything from those kind of teams. I mean, more and more with Chevy trying to get them behind us, and they have gotten behind us more and more every year, helping us. And Jordan Anderson's team and our team work together in a way. So, but they've got different cars though, so it's really hard for us to even compare.
Sure.
Cars. They've got RCR cars. We still got the Ganassi cars that we got and that we started running in 2019 when they shut their Xfinity deal down. So yeah, just hard to compare. Sure. And then this year, the rules have changed with the no skew rule and the rear ends, and that's really changed a lot for us. So we kind of had to start over because everything in the rear end of these cars is different now, basically. So it's made us go back to the drawing board and try to figure out these setups and how to make the cars go around the track again. And that can be a pain, to be honest, because you kind of knew where you need to be, and now we're trying to start over. But it's very challenging, I'm telling you guys, to run an Xfinity team on your own and build your own engines and run older equipment and yet try to be a top contending team week in and week out at all these different types of tracks.
No, absolutely. And not to mention, trying to go and chase down them sponsorship dollars too. I could only, limited guys probably at the shop coming to the track and trying to, oh, by the way, go attract new sponsors. It's I can only imagine the grind.
Oh yeah, for sure. And trying to get partners on these cars, on these Chevys, and keep the partners happy, and then get more and more so you can keep getting the team better and better. It's definitely a challenge everywhere you turn. I got to wear a lot of different hats every day. I work all the time, 24/7 on this stuff, from trying to make the car faster, working on the car, getting sponsors, booking travel for my guys, keeping your people where they need to be. It's something nonstop, man. It'd make you want to pull your hair out, to be honest.
I could only imagine, man. Let's talk about this past weekend at COTA. I mean, what a wild road course weekend. You started 25th, finished 14th. Take us through, your team's weekend, and talk about the race.
Yeah, COTA was a wild race for sure. I mean, that place, the way it leads into turn one there, it's super wide, and then it funnels down into a sharp left-handed turn that you're in first gear. So everybody's trying to outbrake everybody, and then you come in there like bumper cars, and you just hope to get out the other end unscathed and go in the right direction. But yeah, we unloaded and I thought it was going to be better than we were, but we were really loose. And again, it kind of goes back to this rule change deal. We just kind of didn't know where to start. And you get 20 minutes. So, a lap around COTA is 2 minutes and, 15, 16, 17 seconds long. So, I mean, you don't get much time. So I think we made 2 runs and then didn't get the car tight enough for us, and then didn't get it cooled down good and taped up enough for qualifying, and we only ended up 25th. But the field was super stacked. I remember a 10th would have put us 20th, and then another 10th or two we'd have been like 15th or so, and so the field was just so stacked. But yeah, then we took off in the race, and we were a little bit better in the race, but still we actually tightened up too much for the race. Now I think about it. Because I was like, man, tighten me up where I can turn the wheel and the car is not just trying to turn around on me. So
Sure.
We did that, and then we got too tight, and we need to go back. Unfortunately, they didn't hear me over the radio telling them what to do. And first stop, we didn't do anything. And then the second stop, we got a penalty saying we pitted over the line, which we actually didn't. Like we've got a camera at the pit box, and it shows it, but NASCAR has their own computer stuff that says we did. So I guess hindsight, we can't be that close to this invisible wall, whatever, that we're the white line, but we weren't even touching it. But anyway, it's a shame we had to start in the back, work our way back up to 14th, and that's where we ended up. We were right there behind the 88, and some other guys were backing up to us, but we needed a caution to get to them. We were just a few car lengths from them, but I had really used up all my tires, everything I had at that point, and was going to need a caution to get another opportunity. But yeah, we're the first non-big team that finished in the top 15, and a lot of the days that's what you're going. If you can get that, that's a good day for you. Being a small team.
Absolutely, man. No, that's funny. Talk about the lack of stage breaks, if you will. First time NASCAR did that this weekend at a road course. Obviously, depending on how the race is going, that can enhance the entertainment perspective for the fans. It can make it worse. What did you guys think of that as an actual race team and you as a driver?
Yeah, I want to keep our fans entertained, but you're just not going to please everybody. We that's for sure. I mean,
yep.
Some people like vanilla ice cream, some people like chocolate. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
yep.
I mean, some people are going to like that we have no stage breaks, and they're going to like to see the strategy that different teams play and how all that unfolds. And then other people are going to get bored because we're strung out. So I don't know the right answer to all that, really. I like that they did try something, and that we're going to try it this way and see what happens. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I like having strategy, and we all knew where the strategy was before.
Sure.
Because we've all played this game plenty of times now to know, and you're going to pit two laps or so, 3 laps, 4 laps before the stage break, so you can get track position, or you're going to stay out and get at stage points. You got 2 options. So
yeah.
This definitely made it for us. It opened the notebook for us to try a lot of different things, depending on how the race was going to go. So I enjoyed it, and I look forward to more of it. Really
awesome. Obviously, COTA's its own beast. Will anything translate for you guys to some of the other road courses that are maybe more traditional NASCAR road courses than the beast that COTA is, if you will?
Yeah, COTA is definitely a beast of its own. You got high speed, hard braking, tight corners first year a lot for us. I mean, yeah, it's got it all for a road course. Technical. Right off the top of my head, I don't know. I don't know if any track is like it that we're racing on, but I look at Sonoma coming up in June. We've never raced there in the Xfinity Series. I've never raced there, but I think that's definitely, it's not a high speed track at all. It's a low speed, technical, lose grip, need for drive kind of track. So we can take some of that stuff from COTA to that as far as that part, because you do lose time over COTA as the tires wear and you're in those low speed sections. And so you can kind of take that part from it and apply it to Sonoma. So that'll be good for us anyway, I think.
Awesome. Very cool. As we mentioned at the start, you picked up that first win back in 2017. It felt like you guys came close so many times, but finally got back to victory lane last year, got that playoff spot. Talk about the strength of the team and how that's grown. You guys have been around, like I said, a long time. What did the first win do to then help catapult to the second win to playoffs? From the organization perspective, what have those checklists, bullet point items that you guys have been able to accomplish? How's that helped you guys?
I feel like that, going into when we won Road America, I mean, I love the road courses because they're fun. I didn't grow up a road course guy. I grew up a dirt track guy. So to me, slinging the car around a road course in a way is similar to dirt racing. And I think it kind of correlates some. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know how we won that race. And I don't know how that I started liking road courses, but it all just happened. And I thought, man, we could pick up our first win in a road course. And then we did. So, every year we learn how to get the car better, how to, we started from nothing. We didn't know what steering box to run, brakes, transmission. I mean, we learned every year what not to do most times.
Sure.
So we just kept applying that. I mean, nobody tells you what to do. Nobody wants to help you, especially when you start beating them. They're not going to help. These teams are not going to help you at all. Nobody, your friends aren't going to help you. You're on your own. So you got to learn all this, and it just takes time. And unless you can just pay for a technical alliance with a team, you're on your own. But
sure.
That's what we did throughout the years, got better and better, won at Road America, which was amazing. And then, I feel like a lot of the time we are pretty good at road course, but we're just lacking the overall speed we need everywhere, really, just to contend with the big teams. But last year, winning at Daytona, that's a race that, in my head, I keep saying Daytona and Talladega, if you can just survive, we can have a shot. Anybody can, and we put ourselves in position and rode some of that race, battled some of that race, avoided the big one there at the end, and then restarted fourth and then restarted second, and then we won. And it was just everything worked for us that night, and it was just fantastic. Obviously, the win at Daytona was a dream come true for
Sure.
us, for me and the team. And when we have our stuff together, I think that can be us any race. If we can just get it all together, get the car right, and keep building speed in these Chevys somehow, some way.
Absolutely, man. Jeremy, you got a very strong fan base that just continues to grow year after year. Sitting at home, paying attention to the race on social media, seeing people talk about Jeremy Clements and your race team. It's very cool to see. Do you feel that at the track? Because I definitely see it on social media that you just continue to grow a very strong fan base behind you.
Yeah, I definitely feel it. I think it's freaking badass, and I love it. And I want people to join our bandwagon and catapult us up to the next level. And it means a lot to the team and I, for sure. And we just want to go out there and make Spartanburg, our hometown, proud, and more of our fan base as we continue to try to grow and make our team better and better. And it does mean a lot to me, for sure. So I love it and greatly appreciate it.
That's so cool, man. Some new sponsors this year on the car, which is cool. You want to, who are you going to have on the car this weekend at Richmond, and talk about some of the sponsorships that you guys have gotten?
Yeah, man. So to race 33 races a year, all across the whole United States. I mean,
yeah.
from California to the East Coast. I mean, it's hard to get this thing funded the way it needs to be as well. So you got a lot of different partners to come in and complete that package. It's you can't find that one and done. But this weekend we've got Spartan Waste and Fox Sports Spartanburg 98.3 FM on the car, and they've grown with us the past 2 or 3 years together and done more and more and spent more with us. And they go to a lot of races too with us, and we have fun together. We go out to eat, we go do escape rooms, we go drinking. I mean, we have fun. So these are not just sponsors, these are truly friends. Even if they didn't put a a single decal on that car. So that makes it pretty special. And then we got High Speed Auto, and we appreciate them coming on board as associate. And going down the road, Martinsville got First Pacific funding. That'll be the next race after Richmond, which is 2 weeks. And man, you gotta love action in Martinsville. That place is always fun to watch. And then Talladega, we're back to our all South one stop convenience store Chevy that we've seen, and that's one Daytona. And we've got some new partners. We got Apex Coffee coming in at Chicago Road Course, and that's a new partner for us. So looking forward to having them on board and honestly trying their coffee. I've never even had it, so I'm really looking, because I love some coffee.
That's awesome.
to get my ass up.
Doing all the jobs you got to do, man. I can only imagine how much coffee you go through.
Oh, for sure. And then we got Wings Etc. They're doing 3 races in the summer, starting at Pocono and then Michigan and Indy. And we got Whitetail Smokeless, who is on the car every week and is associate partner, and they're doing Road America as usual. And Kevin Whitaker Chevrolet in Greenville, South Carolina, that's helped us every year. So it's pretty cool. We got one of the fan favorites, Booze Pops, at the second Darlington race.
Nice.
That's always a hit, because these are popsicles for adults that definitely will knock you on your feet if you choose to let it.
Oh, so, that's fantastic.
We got a lot of great partners, a lot of people that believe in us and the team, that truly helps us and try to, continue to push us to be better and to get better, and hopefully put more of these Chevys in victory lane.
That's awesome, man. I love that. Jeremy, man, thank you so much for taking some time out, calling in. It was great to catch back up with you. Let's not let another 6 seasons go by before we chat again. Would love to catch back up with you later in the year, and appreciate you coming on, and best of luck this weekend to you at Richmond.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Look forward to the next chat, and definitely don't need to make it 6 seasons. I mean, hell, we don't even know if we'll be here next year. So
right. Absolutely.
Sounds good, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. All right, Lap Traffic Nation. Great to catch back up with Jeremy Clements there. Very cool. All right, let's talk a little bit about this past weekend at COTA. We had the trucks and Xfinity doubleheader there, which was a lot of fun. I love doubleheaders because it's one of those days to where you just have it on, and you've got racing on the TV for 8 hours. Obviously, we all got stuff going on. It's hard to stay dialed in for a straight 8 hours, but man, it's perfect background noise kind of thing, which is great. Zane Smith picking up the win in the truck series. This is 2 wins in 4 races. That's a strong statement for a strong team that's picking right back up where they left off last year, which is a force to be reckoned with. And, we had some definite comers and goers in the truck race. And, Ben Rhodes, I had him in Lap Traffic Fantasy, was looking like a great pick until the bottom literally fell out. And, unfortunately, that was the case for a lot of Lap Traffic Fantasy players this weekend, and we'll get into that later in the show. Got to give a quick shout out to Lap Traffic alum Tyler Ankrum on a top 4 there. That's got to be a nice jolt for that team and that organization, which is awesome. And they're going to be at Texas this weekend while Xfinity and Cup are at Richmond. Would have loved to seen the truck series at Richmond. I think Richmond's been a little lackluster for some of you out there, and I'm not going to necessarily disagree with that. However, I think the trucks would have put on a great show as a Friday night or a Saturday night race at Richmond. And I think the truck series is not lacking behind this year. And like I said, I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and just, it's basically the same schedule as last year for the trucks. But I just feel it's a little different this year. I think that they just haven't hit rhythm and stride from a fan perspective, and a short track, I think, definitely would have gotten people hyped up coming off a fairly strong weekend at COTA for all 3 series in reality. And to go to the intermediate track, 1.5 miles, I hope it delivers. I'm excited to watch the trucks, and we'll see what we get this weekend from that. Xfinity Series, Dinger doing what Dinger does at road courses, and that's dominating and picking up a win. I really think that organization needed that win strong for the team and for Kaulig Racing. I feel like they've been in a little bit of a slump that started really around the playoff time last year. And to see them get a win early in the season, I think that's going to be a strong shot in the arm for that team as well. And look forward to seeing what they're going to be able to do with that momentum. And then Cup Series. I mean, my gosh, Tyler Reddick, 3 overtime starts. Each one just got more cringe because it was like, oh, can he hold it? He deserved it. He definitely deserved it. Was the class of the field all day. But, as the restarts are just going to get wilder and wilder with everyone just going for broke at that point, which is what we saw happen. It was like, oh, man, is he going to get spun out by somebody? Is he going to slip in a turn or something like that? I mean, I am so glad to see that he was able to hold on and get that thing done. Very emotional for Kurt Busch, if you were listening to it on the TV side of things, as his old team and sponsor. I thought that was very cool. That was a cool moment on the TV side, which was awesome. The turn 1 was crazy, as Jeremy talked about a little bit ago. You had road course plus some short track racing in there a little bit, which was pretty cool. Bummer for Jimmy Johnson. Lap 1, I feel like that team, needed to be able to go out there and I don't know, they would have competed for the win, but maybe competed for a top 10, top 15, especially with the limited starts that he's going to have. Being out on lap 1 is definitely a bummer there. But looking at where we're at right now, 6 races in, we've got Logano with a win, Reddick with a win, Stenhouse with a win. Kyle Busch has 1 win. Realistically, though, it wouldn't be out of the question. He could have 3 wins right now. And then you've got Byron with 2 wins outside the top 16. So it's boom or bust for William Byron right now, which is crazy. So a couple questions, thoughts, knowing that we've got a lot of road courses still left, so to speak, from a percentage standpoint. What's too many road courses? And I talked about this last season. I've talked about a little bit this season in terms of what's that saturation level that's just too much. Is I think it's 5 or 6 this year, which seems fairly decent. I can get behind that. Obviously, the COVID year where I think we had 8, that was, NASCAR just needed to get 36 races in, which I totally get. And, I don't think you can judge against 8 races that year, whether that's too many, not enough, just under the circumstances that we were in. But, present and looking forward, what's too much? What's that sweet spot? And I feel like NASCAR did the right thing with getting rid of the stages for the road courses, and I'm going to get into your guys' takes here in just a minute. I know a lot of you would like to see them gone, altogether, no matter what type of track it is. But it was a good start here with the road courses to, as Jeremy said, create a little bit more strategy versus, what everybody knows we're going to do is either the stage points or come in for track position. So I think that definitely helped. That helped get some of the excitement back in the road courses to where I feel like if you had 5 or 6 road courses under, the old format to where we had stage breaks, probably 2 or 3 is your saturation point to where that's too many. But I think with doing what NASCAR did, I think 5 or 6 is good. I think that's a good representation, especially since they're adding some new markets within that as well. COTA, obviously, we've been to before, but it's a newer market. It's a newer track that NASCAR hasn't gone to for 30 years, which I think is good. So I think NASCAR adding new markets with the road courses is kind of a double win, if you will. And that's a good thing for the sport, for a new fan base, crossover, all of that stuff there. So I think 5 or 6 is good, provided that we continue to get good content like we did this weekend. I know the 3 overtime starts became a cluster, but up until that point, we had a good race that was pretty good. I know we had, Chastain doing Chastain things. We had... Bowman doing Bowman things that everyone was ragging out there on social media. But, nonetheless, I think it was a pretty successful road course weekend this past weekend. So with that said, let's get to your guys' response to the question of, did the elimination of stage yellows improve the track racing? Did it remove the predictability of road course racing for you guys? And get your thoughts. All right, you guys had a lot to say, which is awesome. I appreciate when you guys respond in mass quantities. That means it was a good question, so I love it. Scott at 1985 Wagner, yes, you have to figure 8 laps gained each race. That's a sixth of the truck race. When was the last time fuel strategy was needed on a road course? Now, if they would not count stage laps on the rest of the races, so racing the distance instead of 8 putts around the laps would be perfect. Oh, Scott, man, so I'll get to all of that in a minute. Brian at Stormin B81, it did until the endless overtimes, LOL. Andrew at Racing Cants, a resounding yes. Time to ditch them at Pocono too. Any track where you can pit and not lose a lap doesn't need a stage caution. In fact, we don't need stages at all, but beggars can't be choosy. I think you all are about to see a trend here. Colin at Colin_with_cars. I think the elimination of stage racing is an excellent move, and NASCAR would be wise to make it all the way for future races. All 3 races were excellent without the use of, quote, fun flags. I love it. And all I could think about was Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory, fun with flags there. Dave at Real David Kahn, I felt it was better. There is strategy to both, but figuring things out, not knowing when you're going to get a caution makes for better racing, or at least on the ovals. Don't count the caution laps at stage breaks. Amen. Can I get an amen? I've been saying that since we started doing this. Again, I'll get to it in a minute. EJ43 at Petty Fan 4398. Yes, NASCAR needs to remove all stage racing from every event. Trend is growing, everyone. James at JJW5229. It worked perfectly. In fact, get rid of stage breaks for all tracks. Side note, changing overtime rule to a 1-lap shootout on road courses. Road courses are long enough that cautions for debris in overtime are avoided, like what happened today. I hear that one. Jason at JA Stone 29. If they're going to do stage racing with minimal practice, if they're lucky, then they need to do stage breaks even at road courses. There, Jason's got the first against the grain, if you will. Jess at Iowa NASCAR fan. The strategy it creates outweighs the fact that they could or do get spread out at times much better. Kenny at NASCAR Kenny made it a ton better. Comers and goers, pit strategy, exactly why NASCAR won't go back to it. Matt at Camper News Net, I think that it did make it more exciting, especially with the pit strategy, and NASCAR should consider keeping the stages, but eliminating the stage break cautions. Matthew at CH9SE fan, all it did was make the stage pointless. It didn't create any more strategy than it replaced and just spread the race out. So bad we needed a caution for dirt, LOL. Didn't like it, if only for RC fine. I'd rather get rid of the restart zone altogether instead of stage breaks. That would definitely be interesting if we got rid of the restart zone. That's for sure. And then what would poor Geico do? Who knows what Geico would do? Patty at PJ Coy. Hell yeah, from someone at the race, get rid of all of them at every race. Rob at Robert Riggs 1. Back to unknown stops and true pit strategy. Loved it with a twist to stage points. It was very interesting until the carnage. Another Rob at Rob S3502248. We're just missing a niner in there. Yes, it left it to pit strategy, driver ability setup. I think they should get rid of all stage breaks, all tracks. If they want to give stage points, do it the way they did it today then. And last but not least, like I said, you guys came strong, which I love it. Scotty at Scotty D2448. It felt like an old road course race for old fans. I think most liked it. For new, why not? Loved watching the different strategies slowly play out over the race and watching a race naturally progress. I love it. Okay. What does the old professor have to say? I mean, I've kind of alluded to it already. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was the perfect play for NASCAR. I would agree doing it at a place like Pocono would make complete sense as well. You know, I've been a big proponent of NASCAR making changes to improve the entertainment, the quality of entertainment for the fans, to keep drawing people to the track, to the viewers, or to attract viewers to the TV. All of that, I know a lot of people do not like the playoff format. They want the old traditional points format, and I totally get that. But as the sport evolves, I am totally on board with the playoffs and the playoff points and stages, all of that. And I'm even fine. You want to give me stage breaks? Fine, give me stage breaks at, the mile and a half, the 2 miles, whatever the case may be. But as someone said, the fun with flags and the true distance, that's always been my hiccup, where I want to have, if it's 40 laps stage 1, 40 laps stage 2, it's not 40 laps for stage 2. It's probably 35 laps for stage 2. So I've always been on the side of not counting the caution laps for the stage breaks. You want to count them for, on-track incidences, debris, accidents, wrecks, a tire rolls out from pit road. Totally get it. Fine. That's what I define as a natural caution. We got to count the laps against that. No problem. That's what we've done. I can get on board with that. But the stage cautions, to me, like I said, you're going to advertise stages 35 laps. Well, they ain't taking the green with 30 or 40 laps. They're taking it after, however many laps, depending on the style of track we're at, and we're losing those towards that particular stage. So that's where I'm at there. But I think it made a world of difference, and all about it. And looking forward now to the rest of the road courses that we have on the schedule. All right, let's do a little Lap Traffic social media before we get into our first of 2 catching up with Lap Traffic segments. Make sure you check out the website, thelaptrafficpodcast.com, Facebook, Lap Traffic Podcast, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, all at Lap Traffic PC. Leave a review. Go on Apple iTunes right now. First person that goes and screenshots and tells me that they've left a review, I'll send you a Lap Traffic t-shirt. Let's see how deep people are listening into the show. So first person that does that, I will send you a t-shirt. I also have that awesome giveaway going on. Got about, I think, 80 followers to go. Got an awesome Lap Traffic NBC prize pack to send out to you. So thanks for all the retweets, follows. Keep it up. And make sure you're following at Atlanta Racing at the Throwback Brand. Some new follower shout outs to Jay Meador at Navy Redneck. Thank you for your service, sir. NASCAR King at Colin Diaz, big NASCAR fan. Thomas Tickner at Thomas Florida Lightning and Tampa Bay's fan, and I got to assume a NASCAR fan if you followed the Lap Traffic Podcast. Don't forget, I got stickers and koozies for free. Shoot me a DM on Twitter, email me, fill out the contact page on the website. I'll send one out to you. I've got hoodies, t-shirts, all that available on the website, thelaptrafficpodcast.com. That's where you can find all the fantasy updates as well. And like I said, normally we'd be doing some weather is in seasons past, but we're doing that on Twitter Spaces now. So be on the lookout for some updates there on when we're going to do that this week. And let's get into it. Let's talk to a couple people that were at COTA this weekend. Catching up with Lap Traffic. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, it is time for part 1 of our 2-part Catching Up with Lap Traffic this week, which I'm very excited about. I mean, COTA's a special track. It's a big race weekend, and so it deserves some extra attention with some of our listeners that actually made it out there. So joining me on the line, you can follow him at lost_10mm socket. It is Jeremy. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, it's good to catch up with you, man. It's been an exciting long race weekend, so it's time to finally cool down, and man, it's been a lot.
Monday's that cool down lap, right?
That's right. It is cool down Monday.
Yes, I love it. Are you from the COTA area, if you will, or did you have to make a trip?
I live about an hour and a half north, so we were there for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and every day we just drove an hour and a half each way, to make it. And it is worth it.
That's a commitment, man.
Oh yeah,
that is a commitment to make that kind of. Because I'm about 90 minutes from MIS, and there've been a couple times where you make that drive, to and from Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and that'll burn you up. That's no doubt about that.
Well, one thing, Texas is a pretty big state, so a lot of people have been here for a while. We're kind of used to having to drive a long amount of time to get anywhere.
Fair enough.
So I'm used to it.
So how was the traffic going in and out on all 3 days there? I imagine Friday was probably a little light, but how was Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, COTA is known for getting pretty busy, and the traffic in and out is not the best setup. So with that in mind, and also with just wanting to get a full days of activities out of each day, I was there early. I was showing up early each morning and kind of beat the traffic. And as soon as the track was opening up and things were starting up, I was right there ready to go.
Taking it all in, enjoying the sights and sounds and the smells and all that comes with being at the racetrack. That's awesome. Have you been there for any other events other than NASCAR?
This is my first time ever being at the track. In fact, the reason I went Friday before the Xfinity Truck Series and then Cup on Sunday was we went Friday to go get our tickets and passes all lined up, and then kind of learn where do we even go in? We've never been here before.
Yep,
right?
Yep. I Michigan obviously feels like home for me, but times like when I went to Chicago or Richmond, it's really weird when it's like I should feel like home here because it's a NASCAR race, but it's a new area, and it's like, man, you look like a rookie, like, hey, where do I go in at, man?
Right. Yeah, I don't like looking like a rookie in front of a lot of people, so I had to get that out of the way early.
Yes, I'm with you there for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you drove in and out. So did you tour around the area much? Did you find any cool restaurants? Anything in and around the track that you did?
No, there's not actually. So when they bought the track, they just bought it on some land, and you can kind of tell when you get out there why they bought the track there, because there is nothing. I mean, there's nothing. So they obviously got some cheap land when they bought that track.
Okay, fair enough. That makes sense.
I have heard rumor that there are a couple Mexican restaurants that are right there behind the track, and I've heard rumor that they both got very good food.
Excellent. So, where's the nearest hotel that you saw coming in? That would have been a hike, I imagine, too, right?
Yeah, I want to say the closest hotel that I'm aware of is probably about 30 minutes north.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's see here. So, what got you into racing? How long have you been a fan?
Or you know what? Back on the hotel thing real quick. Yeah. One thing I thought was interesting about the track, there's actually a hotel at the track. They call it the paddock is above the garages.
Okay.
And I'd always wondered what that building was. Why is there a 2-story building above the garages? That's a hotel. It's a Fairmont Hotel.
No,
those are all hotel suites.
That's cool.
So yeah, sorry to touch back on that.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So what got you into racing, man?
I've been a fan of racing since I was probably about 96, 97. My uncle got me into racing. We were both big Earnhardt fans together.
Okay.
And, I guess Earnhardt is kind of what got me into it.
That's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Have you been to, what are some other tracks you've been to?
I've only been in one other track. Well, 2 other tracks. I've been to the Texas Motor Speedway race.
Okay.
And then I've been to Daytona Motor Speedway and, come to think of it, Talladega, but those were not race day events.
Fair enough. Okay, cool. Very cool. Who's your driver now?
Man, I've actually got a few. There's a few I like, but right now I'm a big Chastain fan. I like it. I like it when he gets out there and he roughs him up. He's not afraid to get his elbows dirty. He's not afraid to get up there and do what he's got to do to win. And sometimes it causes a little bit of controversy, but we kind of need a little controversy, right? That's what keeps things interesting. Listen, it's like he likes to tell people, "Are you not entertained?"
Right? No, I'm with you. I've said this a few times on the show over the last couple years in terms of. He was such the Cinderella story when he was at Nice Motorsports. Everybody loved him. He had the deal go south with Chip Ganassi, and everyone was so bummed for him. And now he finally got what everybody wanted, and everyone's just giving him shit for it. And I'm like, you all wanted him. And so I'm with you. I am, I'm a Chastain fan. I'm all about him going and he knows he's got to win to keep his ride and all of that, and he's doing what he can. So no, I'm right. I can get behind it. I mean, obviously, there's some aggressive moves he's done that probably haven't been the smartest, and I'll be the first to admit that too. But it's like what, 3 years ago, everyone was all on the Chastain bandwagon, and now everyone's off it. So I'm staying on.
Right. And what's funny is that for a while there, I wasn't really a big Hamlin fan. Like, I don't like him, and then especially when I start seeing Chastain, I'm like, yeah, that's right. You get him, Chastain, right? But now Hamlin has got this podcast. I'm starting to hear what he's got to say. Like, he really seems like off the track, like a decent kind of like just regular guy. Like, he's got his own opinion and he's not afraid to express it and all that. But as much as I'm starting to like, he's growing on me. Nah, still get him, Chastain. Do your thing.
Right, I'm with you. I am with you. That's very cool. What you got? Any other races on the calendar?
Yes, so we're going to Texas Motor Speedway this fall.
Awesome.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool. Texas takes some heat, man. What are you a fan of Texas? And if you are, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But Texas gets some heat, man.
I mean, yeah, it unfortunately it is kind of a boring track, and unfortunately that they do need to do a few things. But we don't really have a lot of racing in Texas, surprisingly, as far as circle tracks go.
Sure.
So I'm at the point right now where I will take what I can get. And if it's a boring race, well, you know what? It's better than nothing for me.
It's a weekend at the track, man. It's a weekend at the track's better than no weekend at the track.
Right. But I am kind of in the background hoping they do something for that track to make it a little more entertaining, liven it up.
Sure. Back to COTA for a minute. Talk about the facility itself, obviously a little newer. What was the fan zone like? What was concessions like? Talk a little bit about that for someone that might be thinking about going there next year.
Yeah. So the fan zone was is okay. I would give it maybe I don't know, maybe a 7 out of 10. I've been to better ones, but I've also, it wasn't the worst one either.
Sure.
It kind of had what you would expect. There's all the trucks there to buy any merchandise you wanted to go buy. They were all parked right there together, so it was a nice little walk. And then, of course, they had the vendors, and some vendors were giving out free things, and some were more just trying to get your information and
sure.
See what you could do. But they did have some pretty cool shows there. We saw one show where it was a jet ski acrobatic team. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
That's cool.
They had a armadillo racing, which, I mean, hey, go Texas, you do you, Texas, right?
That's awesome.
Right. And then they surprised us at the last minute with the watermelon drop from the tower, which
that was cool.
I was kind of bummed out they didn't do it when there's going to be fans at the track, but I also understand that they probably were not sure what the wind was going to do to the watermelon and didn't want anyone getting hurt with a flying watermelon.
Yep.
So, but no, yeah. So the fan zone, it had a lot going on, but to be honest, when I first bought my tickets, I got a couple tickets for the race, and then I wound up winning a sweepstakes, which gave me a VIP upgrade. So. I was up with the fan zone for a little bit, doing some of that, but for the majority of the race, I was actually down in the pits with the haulers and the drivers and, kind of all the cars.
Very cool. So you had the, what are they calling it now? I think they're calling it a VIP pass or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I won the VIP pass through Ziegler Racing. They're actually giving out 2 more this year. If y'all tune in with Ziegler Racing to their Twitter page and Instagram, they're going to be giving one out to Chicago and one out to, I think maybe Road America, maybe. I'm not sure. I think it's not a road course, though.
Very cool.
Right.
That's very cool. So talk about that. I mean, because, when you get that for the first time, that's a whole different, fan experience. So how was your experience behind the garage? Were you, were you awestruck, being back there, seeing them, thrash away on the cars, seeing the drivers just casually walking throughout, all that good stuff?
Yeah, it was crazy how like everybody was just so available. If you wanted to walk up to somebody and just get a quick picture and all that, because you don't get to, you see these guys on TV all the time, root for them, but it's hard to get to see them in person.
Sure. I
mean, they were just so available to like just walk up to them and like maybe do a handshake or a fist bump and a quick picture, maybe exchange a few words, and then you're both on your way. And it's like, like I saw, of all people. I've always wanted to meet Michael Waltrip. I've met Michael Waltrip. He signed a diecast, got a picture, and, we moved on. He's a really nice guy. I got to meet, I can't tell you how many drivers between the truck drivers, the Xfinity, the Cup drivers. I mean, I met so many drivers. It was just a great time. And then, of course, Team Ziegler, they were just, I'm used to in motorsports, you'll get a VIP upgrade for things, but it's usually maybe some nicer seats or you may get something with your ticket package.
Sure.
No, they rolled the red carpet out. Like
That's awesome.
When Team Ziegler says they're going to give you, or Ziegler Racing says they're going to give you the VIP treatment, like they are not lying. I was doing things I never even expected I would be doing. It was great.
That's awesome, man.
Yes.
Very, very glad you got to have that experience. That's very cool.
Yes.
Well, listen, man, keep in touch, and maybe we'll get you back on when you go to Texas in the fall.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. All right. That was Jeremy there. We had Jeremy Clements and listener Jeremy. That's awesome. And we got one more. Like I said, COTA was cool. And I want to get as many people involved with this segment as possible. So if you're going to a race and you want to come on and talk about it with me, just hit me up and we'll get you on. And right now I've got Donna. Donna was on the show back with the countdown to episode 300 at the end of last year. Donna's awesome. Big supporter of the show. She goes to a ton of races. So let's hear what Donna has to say about COTA. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, like I said, COTA is such a big race that it warrants 2 segments of catching up with Lap Traffic this week. So, joining me back on the line, she made her first appearance at the end of last season with all of the listener call-in shows. You can follow her on Twitter at I Love Fast Tracks. It's Donna. Donna, what's up? How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for good to talk to you again.
Yes,
really
great.
good to. Yeah.
Great to have you back on the show. You were at COTA. You get around. You go to all of the tracks, which is awesome. You definitely do some stuff for the fans of the sport as well, which is so cool. I love that. We can get into all of that here, but let's talk about COTA. What did you think of the facility, the experience? What made you want to go there?
Well, you know what? I've never been to a road course, so this was my first.
Cool.
And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It's not my kind of racing.
Sure.
It's hard to enjoy the race when you can't see the race.
Yep.
We were sitting up in turn 12, the sun directly in our faces, getting sunburnt to no end.
Sure.
And you could see them coming in. Into 12 and then around 12 into 13 and that. But other than that, you couldn't see much. So also being down in the garage around the pits, you can't see the track when they go past the pits.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So you're behind the pit boxes, and the only time you can see the cars is when they stop for a pit stop or they start back up to turn 1.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of like, I love to watch them on TV. But, I mean, I know everyone talks about how awesome Watkins Glen is and what an atmosphere and all that, which, I'm not opposed to going and checking that out, but there are definitely some other tracks that I got to get to before that. You know what I mean?
Well, I did talk to a few of my crew member friends that said Watkins Glen is a better track than this one.
Okay.
As far as the fans.
Yeah.
And if you're not into a lot of walking, you don't want to go to this because
don't go to COTA.
it is walking.
Yes.
A lot of walking. So
now, what about a Roval? Like, would you go to a Roval race?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
If I can see that. Yeah. It's just that, it's very frustrating when you want to see what's going on and you have to watch the big screens because you can't see anything. I could stay home and do that.
Sure. I'm with you there. What about like the, talk about where'd you stay? Did you camp? Did you hotel? Where'd you stay at?
We stayed in a small town, population about 15,000 people, called Lockhart.
Okay.
It's 20 miles from the track, very accessible getting in and out.
Awesome.
It's right on the main street in Lockhart with walking to every restaurant you can think of.
Okay.
So once we were at our hotel, we walked to a nice breakfast place. Of course, we had to do the Texas barbecues.
Sure.
And we found a really good one next to our hotel. And down the street a couple blocks, there was a fabulous Mexican restaurant.
Excellent.
So, there's lots of food. But I suggest, a lot of people stayed in Austin. I flew into San Antonio and drove to Lockhart.
Okay.
Which is about an hour.
Okay. That's not bad.
But Lockhart's a nice little town. It's got everything you can think of. And it, like I said, 20 minutes to get to the track. I suggest if you're going to go to COTA to invest in the parking lot A reserve parking. because it's right behind the grandstands. And it's the first lot as you go in through it to the track.
Okay.
So you're in and you're out really quick. I didn't sit in traffic at all the whole weekend.
Nice. That's always a plus, right? Like
yes.
That's a big thing for people. Like I remember back in the day growing up as a kid at Michigan, like it just taken hours to get out of there because they didn't really have much traffic control going on back in the day. But now it's not so bad. Chicago was a breeze to get in and out of, I feel like, a couple years ago. So yeah, Las
Vegas was 5 hours one time for us.
Oh man,
because they're trying to get back in. Yeah, they're trying to get back into the Strip. So when I go to Vegas, I stay in Mesquite, which is the other way.
Yeah,
but anyway, as far as COTA goes, yeah, it was great to experience it.
Okay.
I just don't know that I would go back.
Sure.
Like a lot of walking, and then if you happen to be lucky enough to be in the garage area, there is nothing in there for the fans. There's no refreshments. There's no water to buy. There's no food to buy. There's nothing.
No kidding.
So if you could get dehydrated in that 80-some degree temperature.
Absolutely.
And you have to go back out, clear under the front of the track.
Wow.
To get anything.
That's a hike. Yeah. Yep.
So I just felt that was kind of, not cool for people.
They're missing out on, money too, because, people want ease and accessibility. So,
Right.
That's, it's here, I can get it. All right. Yeah, I'll do it kind of thing for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. What's the next race, Donna? Where are you going next?
I'll be going to Gateway Worldwide Technology.
Very
that's cool. This is my second race this year. And I think I'm going to 5 or 6. I can't remember, but that's the next one. I've got to stay home for a while. I always go with a friend, and we always say it's a girls' weekend.
Excellent.
And we always say that if our husbands don't want to go, so we say if you want to see us, just watch TV.
There you go.
Because
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Excellent. How was the fan zone or all of that stuff? Was that
the fan zone was we walked over there a couple times. Now they do have your regular over in a fan zone. You've got more of the food for people, and it's just the track food. It's pizza and hot dogs and nachos and that kind of things, and the merchandise traders. And there were some rides, Ferris wheel and some other things.
Okay.
And a nice little kids section with a little kids roller coaster and that kind of thing. Then the stage is over there for the drivers to appear, the Chevy and the Toyota. And so that was kind of nice.
Cool.
Just like any other track, though, I feel they need to train their employees for the weekend a little better than they do, because half the people there don't know what's going on, and they can't answer your questions.
Yes.
So
I can't tell you how many times, when you're walking around a racetrack in dress pants and a polo, odds are you've been there more than once. And so people kind of assume that. I can't tell you how many times people have come up to me and asked, hey, do you know where such and such is? And have been able to, at least, even if it's at a track that I've only been to once or twice, just being there, so if it's someone that has, it's their first race, whatever, you can kind of give them the lay of the land a little bit better than most. Which is funny.
Well, I think the biggest issue was, they post the gates open at 12:30. This was on Friday. The gates open at 12:30. So we waited till the gates opened, and we went over to the tunnel to go over into the garage.
Yeah.
And when we got there, the girl says, nobody but employees after 12:30 allowed through the tunnel to the garage. And I said, wait a minute.
Well, how else are you supposed to get there?
That's what I said to her, and she said, well, you have to go down that way somewhere.
Somewhere.
So I walked down there, and I finally found somebody that worked at the track, and I said, this is what's going on. And she couldn't find it in the rule book anywhere. So she said, let me get a golf cart and I'll take you into the garage.
Oh, nice.
I said, oh, that's great. Okay.
Yeah.
So she said, stay right here. And we stood there and we waited, and some other people stopped her and had the same issue. And she went over and with them, and next thing I know, she's walking off with them and left us standing there.
Oh, that's
so I'm like, okay, maybe we'll just follow her.
Yeah, right.
So we followed her over to the tunnel, and then she gave all those people in that group pass thing to go up into the tower.
Yeah.
The observation deck thing.
Yep.
But we didn't get any.
Oh, man. Well, that's a bummer of an experience, when you spend money to go travel, because it's one thing to just drive to a track, to get on a plane, hotel accommodations. When you're making that kind of an investment, you definitely want to have a little bit better of an experience there. But it will not deter you. I know that.
Oh, no, it won't, because I went to guest services and I talked to them a little bit. And she said, weren't you the lady that she was helping? And I said, yeah. Did you see her walk away from me? And she said, yeah, I did. And so she handed me 4 passes to go up into the observation deck.
Oh, very nice. All right.
So we used 2 and I gave 2 to somebody else.
Awesome.
So
very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, Donna, maybe we'll see you at Gateway down the road. And again, thanks for all that you do for the sport. I think it's awesome. Your interaction on social media and the stuff that you do trying to get access for people that wouldn't otherwise be able to, which is very cool. So, well,
absolutely. And I don't want anybody to be deterred from what I said. Go try the track. Maybe you'll like it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe it's your kind of race. I'm just telling you, it's not for me.
Hey, nothing wrong with that at all.
That's right.
That's why we're doing these, to get different takes and perspectives for everybody, which is very cool. Donna, maybe we'll catch up with you in a couple races here. And again, thanks for calling in, and we'll talk to you.
Thank you, Brandon.
Soon. Of course. All right, little different perspective there for Donna, and hey, I get it. Not every track is going to be a home run for everybody, and again, that's why I love doing this, so that you guys can help make your plans and decide. Hey, you know what? This person loved that track. That's a great perspective. I'm going to go, or you know what? I'm going to push that one down on the list and maybe move another one up there, and that's A-okay. I love that. Love the feedback. Love the response. Love that I've been able to have at least one person on the show for each track this year. That's so awesome. And again, if you're going and you want to come on the show the following week, let me know. We can record Monday, Tuesday, and drop it in for the show and keep making great content. That's what I love. That's why I'm here for 7 seasons. Let's keep it going. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, let's close this thing out with a little Lap Traffic fantasy. Just a reminder, get your picks in by 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. Check the website if you need to see who you've got available at the laptrafficpodcast.com. Click the fantasy link as we are getting deeper into the season. A lot of players have used both their Zane Smith picks in the Truck Series, have used both Justin Allgaier picks in the Xfinity Series, so make sure you check to see who you've still got available. Joining me on the line right now, first-time caller on the show. He's just started playing the league this year. You can follow him on Twitter at NASNF1 Fantasy. It's Andrew Yu. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, happy to be here.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Nice job this week with the picks, man. There's not too many times has somebody picked all 3. So nicely done there. You skyrocketed up in the bonus points as well. Andrew, how'd you find out about the league, man?
Yeah, and so I guess I found out about the league. I'm a big Twitter. I started using the Twitter a lot last year, and so I think I just scrolled through Twitter and I saw you guys, the Lap Traffic podcast, and I saw fantasy last year, and I didn't really want to participate since I think it was around the middle of the season of the fantasy season. So I just waited until 2023, and I threw in my picks starting at Daytona, and I've done pretty well so far.
Absolutely, I love it. Well, that's awesome. Hopefully, you can continue to kick ass, and you'll get yourself a custom Lap Traffic trophy here at the end of the year. So it's always a good time. The competition definitely heats up on Twitter. There's definitely some smack talk with those that make the playoffs for sure there. So that's awesome, man. Glad you found the show. My picks of Ben Rhodes was looking fantastic until the last lap, and my pick of John Hunter Nemechek was looking really good until the last lap. But Bowman squeezed out some decent points for me. 91 points for me. I'll take that. Man, like I said, we get the broom out for you. You swept the weekend, 157 points. But the great thing is, there is not much point separation between like 10th place, 20th, 25th. It's only about 30 points, which a lot of people doubled up on Dinger in both Cup and Xfinity. It paid off in Xfinity. It was a bust pick on the Cup side of things. Same thing with not Jimmy Johnson, but drawing a blank. Anyways, boom and bust. It's a lot of up and down, a lot of movement in the league still going on right now. Andrew, what do you think of COTA this weekend? Did you get to watch any of the racing?
Oh, yeah, I watched all 3 races, and COTA, yeah, it definitely was it's pretty exciting. Had a lot of drama between all 3 series. In the truck race, you had a good battle between Zane Smith, Kyle Busch, and Ross Chastain. And then in Xfinity, you had that little battle between Creed and AJ. Sad to see Creed getting spun out, but he still came back to a 12th place finish, so great job to him. And then in the Cup Series, you had another good battle between Tyler Reddick and William Byron. They were battling out for the lead, and then Kyle Busch sneaked in for that second place finish. But yeah,
that was a crazy 3 restarts there, man. I'm like, man, to hold on for 3 restarts between William Byron, who's on a tear, Kyle Busch, who can just pull off miracles at the drop of a dime, and for a young driver, a young team, for them to be able to hold that poise through 3 restarts at a difficult track. I mean, that shows a lot of talent there and what we can expect from Tyler Reddick in the future. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of getting a little bit nervous because I think a lot more of the drama in turn 1 happened in the Cup race. I was, waiting for them to pile it in there if someone spun. We did have a few spins. Some noticeable ones were Chastain and AJ and even Briscoe and Suarez. So, yeah, that was another exciting part of the COTA Cup race. A
lot of talk on Twitter after the race in terms of, too many road courses, not enough road courses. What do you think? Do we have the sweet spot? Is there too many? What's your take on how many road courses are on the schedule this year?
If I remember correctly, I think we have around 5 or 6 road courses, which I think it's pretty good balance, because I think it was like 2020 or 2021, we had around like 8 to 9 or even 7 to 9. So I'm glad we dimmed down a little bit. I mean, I'm a good fan. I'm a fan of all racing, even road courses. I kind of like a little bit more, but yeah, I think if you want to have a good balance, 5 to 6 is a really good amount.
I am with you there. All right, let's hit our top 10 right now in segment 1. Currently in first is Matt Dabrowski with 608. Andrew, you're sitting in second with 583, along with Henry Fletcher. In third place is John Etwinsel, all the way in Australia, with 579. Benton Wilson in fourth with 569. Mark Ludington in fifth with 556. Eldon in sixth with 555. G.R. Davison in seventh with 550. Chad Harrington in eighth with 548. Steven, DFS NASCAR guy, in ninth, 539. And Joe Hewson wraps out our top 10 with 533. And our bonus points, Andrew, you are in first with 7 bonus points. Matt is in second with 5, and then Benton, GR, Henry Fletcher, Joe Hewson, Mark Ludington, Robert Riggs all have 4. Just about everybody's got at least 1 bonus point, which is awesome. What do you say, man? You ready to make some picks?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Lap Traffic Fantasy players, we are headed to Richmond, where Toyota has dominated, winning 9 of the last 13 races there. Toyota has lacked some speed, though, at the start of the season. Will they get back to their winning ways this weekend? Will this race more like Phoenix? Will it race like the lackluster Richmond races we've seen over the last couple of years? We'll find out this weekend, but first, it's time for our picks. Andrew, start with you in the Truck Series. Who do you got?
Yeah, so the trucks are going to Texas, and I'm going to take Ty Majeski in the number 66 Ford.
Oh, dude, get off my sheet of paper, because that's exactly who I have as Ty Majeski as well for the Truck Series. All right, Xfinity, who are you rolling with this weekend?
Xfinity, I have to go with the guy who was the bridesmaid last year, and John Hunter Nemechek in the number 8. Well, last year he was an 18 car. This year he's in the 20 car for JGR. All
right, we're 2 for 2. Now listen, anybody that's gone 3 for 3 with me, it's never panned out well, because I always do horrible in my own fantasy league. So I have John Hunter Nemechek as well. He had a horrible week this past week. Very rarely does he have back-to-back weeks, so I was doubling down with him. All right, let's see if we're going to go 3 for 3. Do you want me to go first, just in case you want to change it?
Sure, you can go first.
All right, I'm going to go with the 11 of Denny Hamlin, always solid at Richmond, and, just looking for a solid points day. Andrew, who do you have for your Cup pick?
Actually, yeah, my pick was going to be the number 11, Denny Hamlin, so we're going to go for 3 for 3, but I'm going to throw out another name, and that name is the winner of the fall race, I guess you could say, the summer race, Kevin Harvick, the number 4 car for SHR.
You know, I had contemplated him, but I think I'm going to save him for Darlington. And hopefully I can still rebound a little bit to where that's a good strategy pick there. So that's too funny, but I'm confident that we would have done that because you're doing very well. So hopefully I don't jinx your picks, and I can at least climb up a little bit and get out of 30th place and maybe make it to the top page of the standings there. So, oh, man. Well, listen, thank you so much for calling in. Best of luck to you, and hopefully this isn't the last time we're talking on the show this season.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and hope to see you again for another podcast.
Absolutely, man. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right, Lap Traffic Nation, that is going to do it for a jam-packed episode 307 of the Lap Traffic Podcast. Check out the website, thelaptrafficpodcast.com, Twitter @LapTrafficPC. Huge thanks to Jeremy Clements, listener Jeremy, listener Donna, and Andrew Yu for calling into the show tonight. Let's see what we can get lined up for next week. Don't forget about WrestleMania this weekend. I'm jacked up for that one. Don't get caught chasing the lucky dog. Tune in each and every week to the Lap Traffic Podcast. See ya!